So today we'll create this animation. Hello friends, welcome to new tutorial in After Effects. Today we'll create 3D trophy animation with HDR image and environment lighting. So let's get started. So we will need a 3D object for this and we'll be doing 3D trophy animation. So let's search for trophy inside the 3D models. So you can go to this site Sketchfab. Here you can type inside the search area trophy and then in the licenses area select free standard. Here you will get all the free 3D objects. Inside this one is a very good trophy. So I am selecting this and you can check overall 3D object here. Then if you will go down, you'll find this option download 3D model. In that select GLP or GLTF, which is much more compatible. And out of this, if you'll notice, GLTF is 2 MB. So this is lighter. So let's select this and download it. So for HDR image, go to this site Polyheaven. Inside this, there is this assets menu. Click on HDRI, and then you'll find all these different images here. You can select any of these images that you like, and I'm selecting this. And in this you can select whichever variants you want. So there are different variants in this, and let's select HDR 2K and download it. Now let's go back to our After Effects. So inside After Effects, click on New Composition and you can name this as 3D Trophy Animation, and you can keep width as 1920px and height as 1080px. Go to this 3D render option and select Advanced 3D. Since we are working with 3D model, so let's select Advanced 3D and click on OK. So let's add our 3D object. So once you add this 3D object, you'll get this dialog box. Okay, you can keep everything as it is and click on OK. Now you'll see this 3D object here. You can scale this by pressing S. Select this object and press S, and then you can scale this down, and then you can align this as per your composition. We can scale it even further to something like this, and we'll keep it on something. So let's put it around this much. So let's create cubes which will act as a stand to keep this trophy. So for that you can go to this cube tool. There are different options here. Let's select cube tool and just click and drag. And then after you have done this, you can align it. Something like this so that it touches the base of the trophy. This is fine. Now we can add a few more variations in this. We can change the color also. So you can select this cube and go to materials in the base color. Click on this eyedropper and you can select any of this. So yeah, let's select this red from here. You can also add another cube just to add a border. Since we have selected this red, let's add blue border also. So for that, just select this and press Ctrl D. So that will duplicate it on the same space. And then we can increase the width by selecting this and going to its settings. Now in this settings, you will notice there is this width, height, depth. So for that, if you increase the width, it will move this way. Before that, let's change the color so that we are able to see it properly. In the base color, click on this eyedropper and select blue color. And now let's reduce the width. So now you'll see there is this red color box appearing. And then also you can reduce the height. Let's increase the depth and move this on top. So now you'll see this, there's this another cube which is appearing above this. You can click on this tool, orbit around cursor, to see how this is coming out. You'll notice this area is like this. Let's increase the width also. So now this goes outside of this red box, and also decrease the, let's see, yeah, this is fine, but I'll reduce the height a bit, something like this. Yeah, this looks better. And we can take this slightly down. So go to this selection tool, move this slightly down. This looks like a podium now. And additionally, what you can do is, this is having a sharp edge. So we can change this to smooth edges. So first I'm selecting this cube. Let's change the cube name. Select and press enter and change this to blue cube. And for the second cube, we can name this as red cube. Select this and press enter and write red cube. So we'll know which cube we are selecting. Now in blue cube, I am going to settings, and here you will find radius. So change the radius to something like this, and it becomes smoother. And similarly, you can change the red cube's bevel options, which will make it even smoother like this. So we can have something like this here. Now, next thing what we can do is, we can add a background, since this is looking black. So let's change the background. So for this, right click on this blank area and click on new. Another option is, you can go to this layers, select new, and inside that you can click on solid. Both ways you can do this. Now name this as background and click on OK. Now take this as the last layer, since we want all these things visible. And now in this, we can change this color from some effects. So maybe type gradient. There are many gradients here. So we can select maybe 4-color gradient and drag and drop on the background. You'll see this, there are these 4 different colors, and accordingly you can change the color as per your requirement. So I'm taking a bit darker shade for the edges. And for these two, I'm thinking of taking these blue and red color, so it looks much more in this color style. For this, I'm picking this one. Or we can even reverse this. We can take blue and this one becomes red. Yeah, this is much more better. This is looking better. So now you can even decrease the light source a bit. You can pull this down and keep it slightly. You can reduce the light intensity, and you can also take this out so it looks like blended one. But I think this is better. I'll pull it inside. For this also, you can zoom back and then pull this inside if you are not able to see this dot. Once you are okay with the background, click outside. Now we can also add HDR, that is HDR image. So let's go to the folder where we have this HDR image and add it inside this. So now we have this HDR image here. Let's take it out by hiding it, and we'll also add a light. So this HDR image we'll be using as a light source. So for that, let's add a light, go to layer and go to this new settings, and inside this you'll find this light. Select environment light and click on OK. So now you'll see this light is immediately visible here. And now what we'll do is in this, we'll go to light options, source. Inside light options, you'll find source and select the industrial pipe well, which we have selected as HDR image. And now you'll see this same color style will come here as light. Let's change the intensity to something like this. Around 177 is good. And if you want to change more settings inside this, you can go and explore that. For me, this is fine. Now, once this scene is set, let's add a camera. So right click in the blank area, go to new and select camera. You can keep all these settings as it is and click on OK. Now to adjust the camera motion, let's add a null object. So right click on it, go to camera, create orbit null. Now this is handling the camera 1. You can see it here. Now let's open the position of this. So select the null object, press P, and now what we'll do is we'll move this to front. So I'll just add a keyframe here at the start, and now let's go to somewhere around maybe 3 seconds, and here let's see, this is Z axis. We are in the 3D mode. So move the Z axis such that it comes forward. This looks good. Now what we can do is we can check this animation once. So it's always good to render and check what all animation you have done. So let me see the animation once. So it will take some time to render. And once it's done, you'll notice this is coming smoothly. This is fine. Now, if you want to add some more movements, like you can select these two things, press F9 to ease in, and then go to graph editor and increase the zoom level here so that you can see the handles. Select these 2 points and you'll notice this yellow color handle here. Now select the 2 handles and drag it so that it creates this kind of a curve. And now click this graph editor. So we are back to our frames and let's see this. So this is now coming much more quicker. So this is good. Now let's move to our next animation. Let's move this trophy slightly up and also turn it around. So for that, what we'll do is we'll select the model, that is scene GLTF, and you can even rename it by pressing enter since you have already selected it. Just write trophy. Now you can select this and press P to open the position, and here at the start add a keyframe by clicking on the stopwatch, and again around this frame move this X. Now we are moving Y axis, so let's move Y axis slightly on top. Yeah, this much is fine. And also let's rotate it. So press R, that will open the rotation details. And now we can check here whether this is not the rotation that we want. Let's see X axis. This is also not the rotation that we want. So now this is the rotation that we need. So here we'll use Z rotation. Go to start first frame, click on stopwatch. So you'll get a keyframe here, and then go back to the same frame. Here you can notice this blue. So we are on the right frame. and then increase the Z rotation to something like this. Yeah. And now let's see. So what is happening is it's moving on slightly and then turning around this. And at this position, you want to again take it back. So that we'll do later. For now, we'll just do this animation and let's see how this renders. So this looks fine. Now, since we have this animation, we can also move the podium which we have created. That is these two cubes, blue and red. So for that, what we'll do is we'll go to first frame and create a null object here. Right click around this blank area, go to new and click on null object. Now take this null object near the blue and red cube, and we can also click on this 3D, which will create the XYZ axis. Now here we'll move this down near the two cubes and then select these two, both the cubes, and just parent it to null 4. And we can rename this null to maybe cube null. Now, since we have parented it here, we can use this to animate both the cubes. Select the cube null and press R, and let's see which rotation would be better. So yeah, I think yes, Y rotation is good. So let's move this to first frame. Click on this stopwatch to add a keyframe here. Let's move to this frame, and if you'll see, these two are in blue, so this means this is on the correct frame. And now in this, let's increase the Y rotation, and I think this is good. Now let's render this. Let's see how this renders. Yeah, this looks good. Now we already have a animation. Now what we'll do is, since this is more like a tournament trophy, let's add a text on this. Select this text tool and click anywhere and type text. So I'm typing tournament, and let's align it by pressing Control and then clicking on this. So we have this anchor in center. And now let's move this slightly on top. So click on this selection tool and then move this slightly on top. This area is fine. Now what I want is I'll move this to the second last layer. So then this is behind, and on top I'll put this in stroke format. So just duplicate this by Control D, press Control plus D, which will duplicate this, and then move this on top. Just take this on top, and here we'll change the fill to stroke. Now you'll see this, there's a stroke around here. You'll notice this. This gives a very good effect. Yeah, it's like this, and then when it moves, it comes like this. This is very good. Let's animate the text also. Select both the text and press T for opacity. And in the first frame, click on this stopwatch. That will add a keyframe. You, you should check the keyframes also. And then go to the 12th frame. And here we will add another keyframe by adding this diamond. Click on this diamond icon. That will add a keyframe. And if you would have noticed, in the first frame we have not taken this to 0, so take the opacity to 0. Now we'll see this is coming around this, and at this frame we'll increase it slightly till here. So from here at this 12th frame you can notice there is this blue keyframe, so that is the correct position. Press S, that will open the scale, and click on stopwatch. So we'll get these two keyframes here, then move to this frame. You'll notice there is these two blue around this, so this is correct frame, and then increase the size to something like this. This is good. So now let's see how this thing renders. Yeah, this is good. But if you'll notice, this text is coming here and there is no movement on the text. But after this is moving. So we'll add some movement at the start. So what we'll do is we'll go to the first frame and we'll add another keyframe of scale here. Don't forget to keep the two text selected so that this keyframe is added to both text, and then decrease the scale value to somewhere around this. You'll notice this borders are going down, so that is good. This means it will be around this. And now when it moves ahead, it will also increase the scale, and then around this it will smoothly increase. Till this frame, it will come quickly and then it will slowly go ahead. So let's play and check this. So let's see the animation. Yeah, this is looking good. So now we already have an animation, and what we'll do is after this comes forward and it holds here, now after this let's take it back to the same position. So for that what we'll do is we'll select all the layers and click from tournament till the last text and press U. So this will reveal all the keyframes, and now select all the keyframes and just press Ctrl plus C. So that will copy it, and at this same frame, this is the last frame, just go to next frame and here press Ctrl V. And once you see this keyframes are around this, right click on the any of the keyframe and go to keyframe assistant and click on time reverse keyframes. So what will happen is this will reverse the animation and that will take it back to the initial position. Now at this point around this, let's cut the work area. So press N. So that will be making this work area limited to this. And once it ends here, it will automatically start from the first frame. So let's see the animation. So as you can see, this is coming and going and it's very quick. So what you can do is you can increase this movement. So once it comes here, let it hold for some time and then it goes back. So what we can do is we can move this, all these keyframes we have already selected. We can move this slightly around this frame, and we can even increase the work area to somewhere here. And now let's see. Let's play the animation again. And in case if you want to increase the length of this and you don't want to adjust all keyframe one by one, so there is a quick option to do that. Just select all the keyframes that you have. First, select all the layers, press U. Now this will reveal all the keyframes. Select all the keyframes and then just decrease the zoom value so you'll get to see few more frames ahead. and then just once all the keyframes are selected, press Alt and then drag this, and you'll notice all these keyframes are adjusting automatically. So I'm taking it till 8 seconds, so it will have some slowness to it, and I'm also moving the work area to around slightly more than 8 seconds. Now let's see how this renders. This is much more smoother. So like this, you can experiment on the animation, you can experiment on the design and keep building it until and unless you have a better animation. So I hope you liked this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching.